Welcome to WhatGear Reviews. You already know what it is. It is a comparison between the brand new Realme GT and the Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite. Both of these phones come in at under £400, and many people are saying the Realme GT might be the flagship killer of 2021 with a better chipset than the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra here in the UK. But don't write off the Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite, because this phone is even cheaper than the GT and maybe it's better in some areas. Well, that's what we're going to find out in this video, and I'll let you be the judge of that. And the dog is just out here waiting to play with the hose, so we'll do a slow motion video test to kick this off. So since we kicked this off with slow-mo, let's talk about the cameras first. Both phones have really impressive triple camera setups. Both phones have 64 megapixel primary shooters. But here's the difference though. The Realme GT's primary sensor is a Sony IMX682, whereas the Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite 64 megapixel sensor is a Samsung sensor, the GW3. So are you Team Sony or Team Samsung? Let me know what you think about this particular picture. Which one looks better to you? The secondary camera on both phones is an 8 megapixel ultra wide. Take a look at this picture of Native American Bill Murray and let me know which one looks better. So the tertiary shooter on both phones is a macro. On the Realme GT we have a 2 megapixel macro, whereas on the Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite we have a 5 megapixel macro. But will that make a massive difference? Take a look at these photos and let me know. Both of these awesome smartphones support 4K video at 30 frames per second, but the Realme GT is capable of 4K video at 60 frames per second as well. So that's a win there for the GT. And when it comes to stabilization, the Xiaomi has electric image stabilization, but the Realme GT has OIS and UIS. So you should see better stability here. And when it comes to the selfie shooters, both devices have pretty big sensors, but the Xiaomi actually has a 20 megapixel selfie shooter, whereas the Realme GT has a 16 megapixel selfie shooter. So this could be a win for the Xiaomi 11 Lite. Let me know what you think of these selfie photos. And now let's talk about the main attraction of any smartphone, the displays. Both devices rock Super AMOLED tech, with the Mi 11 Lite having a slightly bigger screen at 6.55 inches. However, the Realme GT screen gets a little bit brighter with a peak brightness of 1000 nits. Both screens have Full HD Plus resolution, and a little one up here for the Mi 11 Lite is the fact that it has even bezels all the way around, albeit a little bit thick, whereas the Realme GT has a little bit of a chin here, which kind of offsets the bezels a little bit. But here's a big win for the Realme GT, and it's the fact that the screen has a 120Hz refresh rate and it supports 360Hz touch sampling, and that's versus a really fast 90Hz on the Mi 11 Lite and a 240Hz touch sampling. And don't think that the Mi 11 Lite is slow. Both of these devices are considerably faster than Apple's current flagship smartphone. But thanks to the full range of DCI-P3 color gamut on both devices will be amazing for watching video content, because most video content is going to be shot up to 60 Hz anyway. Now let's talk about power and speed. Speed and power. The Realme has a 4500 mAh battery with a 65 watt super dart charger in the box, taking you from 0 to 100 in just 35 minutes. And that is crazy fast. The Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite has an ever so slightly smaller battery at 4250 and a 33 watt charger in the box, which is still pretty fast. It takes you from 0 to 100 in about an hour. But check this out, the Realme has a little bit of a secret weapon here, and I know some other phones will be able to do this as well, but this is cool. It has OTG charging via the USB-C port. So basically you can plug in your headphones, or another phone into the Realme GT and it will do reverse OTG charging. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now let's talk about the brains of the operation. The Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite runs on the Qualcomm Snapdragon 780G, and I heard the G is for gaming. And it's a powerful chipset, and it's backed up with up to 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of UFS 2.2 storage. And the SIM tray is a hybrid SIM tray, meaning it's got an expandable memory card slot on board. So you don't have to worry too much about the limitations of the built-in memory. And this is a little win for the Mi 11 Lite because the GT doesn't have this. With that said, the Realme GT is considered to be the #1 flagship killer at this point in time because it's got the blisteringly fast flagship Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 5nm chipset in it. And you can go up to 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage with this one. And that's a flagship level UFS 3.1 storage as well. So it's going to be faster than the Xiaomi 11 Lite because of the chipset. It's going to be faster because of the read and write speeds, and you can get more RAM in it. So that's another win there for the Realme GT. So for those of you revisiting the channel, you will know that I tend to look at design first because first impressions can make or break a product. But I'm doing this one a little bit differently, and I'm happy to say both phones look really nice. This is the Chinese version of the Realme GT. I much prefer the European version with the yellow and black Bruce Lee kind of styling to it. But this one's quite nice. It's got ridges under the glass. It's a bit of a fingerprint magnet, definitely eye-catching though. And Xiaomi have nailed it with their 11 Lite. I love this finish. The Huawei P40 Pro's finish is still one of my favorites of all time, and this is almost exactly like that. When it comes to the camera modules side by side, maybe you got to side with the Mi 11 Lite here a bit. It's winning on style points, but maybe my opinion on that would have changed if I had the yellow and black version because the camera modules kind of blended into the black stripe down the back. When it comes to biometric unlock methods, the Realme GT has an in-screen fingerprint reader which is really fast, and it also uses 2D face unlock as well. The Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite has a side-mounted fingerprint reader, which is also the power button. I personally prefer the in-display approach when it comes to usability, but with that said, I heard physical scanners offer a little bit more security and are harder to trick. When it comes to weight and thickness, Xiaomi have gone really light and really thin at just 6.8mm and 159 grams, which is definitely tricky to do without making the phone feel cheap. But Xiaomi have done a good job of making this phone feel premium, even with those dimensions. And the Realme GT certainly has a flagship feel to it with the heavier weight and slightly thicker body. And it feels very comfortable, very premium to hold. And both phones have dual stereo speakers. What do you say? Should we do a speaker duel? Let's do it. All right, so we're gonna go max volume on both devices and we're gonna play this royalty-free music. So here are some similarities. Both support Wi-Fi 6, 5G, Sub-6 and NFC. We don't have wireless charging on either device though. But check this out, both phones have their own little unique secret weapon. On the Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite, it has an IR blaster, which means you can control pretty much any device that has a remote control. So if like me, you lose your remote controls on a daily basis, you can just use your phone to change the channel. And the Realme GT is really cool, literally, because it's got this epic stainless steel vapor chamber built in with a steel and copper composite and graphite layers. Apparently, Realme have managed to make this 50% more efficient than the previous version of this. And check this out, the GT has a favorite of mine, the Jurassic headphone jack, which means you can get full high-res audio at 24 bits, 192 kilohertz with no latency via a wire, which I think a lot of you audiophiles out there will really appreciate. And with all things considered, which one of these is better for you? The choice is yours. Let me know in one word in the comments below which one you prefer. And if you enjoyed this video, check out some more of my other Realme content. It's on screen right now. And if you just subscribed, you're now one of the finest subscribers known to man. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't be late.